Hey, have you heard about the Global Genes Rare Patient Advocacy Summit? We're attending this year and we want to meet you there. Join us for the world's largest gathering of rare disease advocates, including patients, caregivers, and other stakeholders. In beautiful San Diego, California, September 18th through the 20th.
This summit features more than 100 speakers, and they have multiple tracks of educational sessions. So with so much going on, it is a fantastic opportunity to connect with others in the rare disease community. At the end of day one, Kyle and I will be facilitating a live forum with other rare disease patients and advocates.
You can learn more by visiting globalgenes.org/PA Summit. That's globalgenes.org/PA Summit. We hope to see you in San Diego.
Welcome to the Two Disabled Dudes podcast.
We believe life is about how we react.
All right, welcome back to the Two Disabled Dudes podcast. We're glad you're here. My name is Sean.
And I'm Kyle. And Sean, a few weeks ago, we had the opportunity to share our movie with a group in Sun Valley, Idaho.
Beautiful
the movie,
Sun Valley, Idaho.
Yeah, Sun Valley was really incredible. Many of our listeners know that the movie is about our journey in the world's toughest bike race, the Race Across America, in 2010. And so my really good friends, family friends, I mean, pretty much family. You know, they're those people that, like, you think is your uncle for a long time or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they're just always around and really supportive, and just they give you that feeling, right? That family feeling.
Especially when you're young and you just don't know anything except they're always around.
Yeah, and they're always so involved in everything we're doing. And so that's our family friends, Mark and Jamie Grassi. They're really incredible. Mark has been friends with my dad and my dad's brother, Steve, since they were like 3 or something. And so anyway, Jamie Grassi was the one who got us connected to the Treefort Music Festival, where we showed the film in the Treefort Film Festival section. And then we showed the film at the Napa Valley Film Festival. And Jamie was behind all of that, making all the connections. And so she really wanted to bring the movie to their community there in Sun Valley, Idaho. And so we organized it with this really awesome theater called the Argyros Performing Arts Center. And just absolutely state-of-the-art. And they had a VIP party beforehand at Mark and Jamie's house. And then we went and showed the film at the theater with, 100 people, and it was really, really awesome. Don't you think, Sean?
Yeah, very intimate setting, but it was a big and beautiful theater. Like I said, it's state-of-the-art, brand new for this little community. I want to say somebody told me they opened less than a year ago. You know, it was rebuilt and renovated and whatnot, but gorgeous little space. And like you said, this community up there is very somewhat small and very well connected to each other. So just a very family-friendly atmosphere in a beautiful little setting of a mountain town, if you will. And it was absolutely fun and special to meet so many amazing people that are interested in. I think a lot of the people I met, I felt like they were interested in making life better for other people. Like they were happy to be involved in any cause that helps the rest of the world in any setting, whether it's disease or, homelessness or hunger or whatever. So it was fun to connect with people and meet. In fact, one of the people we met, we had actually met before. Kyle and I went to a screening in Idaho, Boise, a few years ago, which Jamie and Mark also helped connect the dots there. So being able to see Dana, I believe her last name is pronounced Place, but I could be wrong.
I think that's right.
She was there again, so it was fun to connect with her 3 years later and share a glass of wine and stories. So yeah, it was just a great couple of days.
Yeah, the day before the day of the screening in the morning, we got to go for a mountain bike ride. And
one of the best parts for sure.
Yeah, I haven't been on a mountain bike for a long time. I mean, I feel like FA has been my excuse to not get on a mountain bike, right? But we went with this organization called Higher Ground. And a really, really amazing organization serving so many people. And they do adaptive sports. They facilitate adaptive sports for people with disabilities. And they had 2 adaptive mountain bikes that we rode. One was a hand cycle and one was a trike. And we went on this trail. We started at Adams Gulch, which I feel like is an awesome little name for a trail to start out in the middle of nowhere in Idaho. But I feel like the best part of mountain biking in Adams Gulch was the stream crossings.
Yeah.
Don't you think, Sean?
Yeah, these little mountain bike treks were beasts. Like, we were going over rocks and dirt and hills and branches and all kinds of different huge, things our little street trikes could never go up against. And so being out on the trail and crossing through creeks and little, river like creek beds or whatever, it was fun. At first, I'm like, I don't want to get wet, but
yeah,
so
the
worth
water's
it. It was
cold.
so much fun, beautiful day. We warmed up real fast. In fact, the water actually felt good because it was getting hot. But yeah, it was cool to be on these trikes and not really be limited by all that rough terrain or uneven trail space like we would be, because, like I said, because of FA.
Yep, yeah. And I found myself really focused on like the trail and not like going off the trail, whatever, and just focused on the task at hand. And then at one point I looked up and just saw the view and the beauty of the mountains and everything up there. It was just awesome. We had a really nice warm sunny day, and so that was really great too. So thank you to Higher Ground for taking us mountain biking. That was a really incredible experience.
Not only that, they were one of the sponsors that helped make that screening possible. So thank you for that as well. Yeah.
So the screening, there was a VIP party at Mark and Jamie's place beforehand, and everyone came in, and there was a food truck out in the back. We had a couple glasses of wine. And mingled with so many incredible people, and then headed over to the theater. We did the screening, and then we had a Q&A session at the end with some really, really great, insightful questions and just connecting with people. It was really cool. And Sean, one of the people that we got to connect with, can you tell everybody who that was?
Yeah, we actually met her at the little pre-film party. Muffy Ritz is somebody we had heard might come or who we thought we were probably going to meet. But it wasn't until the VIP dinner that we really were able to connect with her and hear her story. And what was cool about her story, or what is cool, is long time ago, she actually competed in RAM herself, but she did it 3 times. And she did it all by herself. So she was a solo competitor riding all 3,000 some odd miles from California to Maryland 3 different times. So it was really fun and special to meet somebody who is basically a legend in her own right, not just because of Ram, as you'll hear, and we found out as the night went on, all kinds of different things she's involved in. So it was fun to connect with her, and right before the film, kind of like, oh my gosh, we need to sit down with her and record.
Yeah.
So we pulled her into a quiet corner before the event was over, or before the night was over, and we just chatted for a few minutes and had no idea what to expect, but it was a pleasant surprise hearing her philosophy on sport and athleticism and how she's spent the last several decades helping others gain a perspective in life that's positive and helps them move forward. So that's what we're sharing today. So let's get into it. Here's our conversation with 3-time solo Ram participant Muffy Ritz.
All right, here we are in Sun Valley, Idaho. Today we had a screening of The Ataxian. It was really amazing, and one of the amazing people that was at the screening with us that we got to meet and talk to is Muffy Ritz. And Muffy is a 3-time Ram competitor, and well, here, I'll just introduce you, Muffy. So you completed Ram 3 times, is that correct?
I completed Ram 3 times, and here's the ironic thing. I was 3 times last place, but 3 times second place. See, everybody else dropped out, except for me and the girl that beat me 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
I do want to clarify, Kyle and I, we've talked about Ram, and most of our listeners will know we did a 4-man relay.
Right.
What's unique about Muffy's story compared to Kyle and my story, Muffy did it solo. So
one person.
All 3 times, she pedaled all 3,005 or 12 miles, whatever it was.
Right.
That's, in my opinion, that's quite impressive, Muffy.
It's hard. And I have to say, you guys, I did it less than 24 hours slower than you.
Yeah.
It was 9:06:32 was my best time.
Wow.
9:06:32. And the cutoff is 12 days, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, for solo.
impressive.
Yeah, that's amazing. 3 days ahead of the cutoff time, or 2.5, whatever it is. Yeah.
I don't even think we had a cutoff time. I don't know. I'm not even sure. But anyway,
So
it was a long time ago.
I've learned since being here that you're a bit of a legend here in this area, and I understand you do a lot of snow sports too.
Right.
What's kind of your outdoor life look like?
Well, I am a skier. I love cross-country skiing, but I also love backcountry skiing, and I started a women's group called the VAMPS, which stands for Vimin and Muffy's Programs. Should I say the X-rated one on this blog or not? Probably
I
not.
can probably guess.
It's just a body part.
Okay.
Okay, vaginas are more powerful. Okay.
All right.
That's not that X-rated. It's a body part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's about 120 women that I set up this program, and I've got a lot of coaches that work underneath me, and we teach these women how to cross-country ski better.
Is that a full-time job?
Well,
Or it's
sort
just
of
kind
part-time.
a thing you do?
Sort of
Okay.
September through March. And then in the summer, I just go ride my bike and have fun.
Nice.
So I think for the point of throwing you into our podcast, I'm curious what got you outside? Like why is it important to you to be physical and outdoors?
I think it's because I found that I was really good at it, at sports, and I was able to. I'm very competitive, so I was beating people in whatever sport I
And
tried.
that feels good.
And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And the very first time I thought about Ram was because I did Pack Tour, which is, have you guys heard of Pack Tour?
Yeah.
It's Lon Haldeman's, Lon Haldeman is the guy that started RAM.
Yeah.
It's his business. So I did Pack Tour, and it went from Mexico to Canada. And I couldn't believe how much I loved being on a bicycle all day for 3 weeks in a row, like 8-9 hours a day. It was like the greatest thing in my life. And I thought, well, maybe I could do that race across America someday. And you get to be on your bike for 21 hours a day.
Jeez, yeah, and sleep what, two
to 3?
2 to 3 hours a day, and the rest of the time what's
on
your
the
average
bike.
speed?
Well, on the time that I had the fastest, which is still the second fastest time in history.
Oh my gosh.
There's Shauna, the girl that beat me, has a 1/10 of a mile an hour faster. So she was 13.2 miles an hour, and I was 13.1.
Oh my gosh.
So that's pretty good for
So-
solo.
Yeah,
Huh.
sleep 2 hours a day and then average,
And average
13 miles an hour for 9 days in
Yeah.
a row.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. So
we pushed each other hard.
You were one of the things that people talk about in Race Across America, especially the solos, is the hallucinations.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
you were telling me earlier that you were seeing all kinds of stuff, right? So I guess for our listeners, like when you push yourself physically that hard, like weird stuff starts happening with your brain, right?
Oh, your brain. I mean, it started early. Kuchara Pass.
Wow.
It's the first place that I hallucinated to a point where I thought there were 2 riders in front of me. They were my shadows. And I thought they were really 2 riders for at least 2 hours. Wow. And it took me a long time trying to pass them or trying to like draft them. I couldn't. And I couldn't figure out who they were because they didn't have a support vehicle. And I couldn't figure it out. But then after about 2 hours, I went, oh my God. Those are my shadows from the lights on top of the vehicle. Shining, they were crossing, and they were showing me. Those were my shadows.
Oh my God.
So that was kind of interesting. And other hallucinations were like I saw a 100-foot farmer in Georgia, and he tipped his hat, and he said, hello, Muffy. And I'm like, hi. And these, what's amazing is these hallucinations are as vivid right now as they were then. I mean, I will never forget these hallucinations. Brides on the side of the road, brushing their hair, beds. They were sitting on beds, and I asked them, can I lay in your bed? And they said, no, we're getting ready for our wedding. We have to rest.
Wow.
I mean, these are like, and nobody
my
else
gosh.
had weird hallucinations like that.
Yeah.
You know, they'd
Yeah.
see weird lines in the road, or mailboxes would be waving that or something, but I had some strange ones.
So I think when you do a big physical feat like that, there are eyes on you, a lot of eyes on you, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're one of the top competitors in Race Across America, the world's toughest bike race. Tell us about some of the people who you've met who have told you that you inspire them in their lives.
Well, I have to say, there were a lot of people on the sidelines cheering for me and cheering for me to win. Because I was always second place. I was always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And then when I came back here after doing 3 different Race Across Americas, all the schools wanted me to talk. All the little kids, like the first and second grade, kids, and I'd show my slideshow, and they were just fascinated. These kids were not fidgeting or anything. They were involved. And I showed it to high schools, and I showed it to various ski groups, and they were all fascinated that anybody could do this, could physically do this.
Right.
And so, I don't know. And people have actually come back like years later. I gave a slideshow at my boarding school in Colorado, and kids have come back 20 years later and said, you had the most inspirational speech because of that Race Across America that you did.
Wow.
Like, that's harder than anything we've ever heard before. And they said, that's the one I remember after I left that school, was your speech.
So a question relating to that, what are the messages that you relayed in those speeches?
I would say whatever it takes is one of the sort of, that was written on the bar, my top tube. And just if you have a dream, you need to go after it. And even though it may be the most unlikely thing you could ever think of, just like you guys, if there is a will, there is a way. And I remember after about 3 days of riding, I went, wow, I'm actually doing this. So you tell other people, you have a dream? Well, go after it. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? You don't make the dream, at least you tried, you know? Yeah. And so, that would be it. Yeah.
Cool.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good takeaway.
That was on that top tube
Yeah.
because I actually rode in Ram the first year 600 miles standing up.
Oh.
Because I couldn't sit down because my crotch was so sore. My
so
seat.
Towards
Everything.
the end.
No, right in the middle.
Right.
Oh.
I could not sit down. So I stood up it was part of Utah, Colorado, and Oklahoma.
Wow.
And parts of, 3 states standing up. And then I would when I went downhill, I could sort of sit on the seat a little bit.
Yeah.
But if I had to pedal, I had to stand up.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so, these are just things that whatever it takes. And that's, you've got that finish line out there, but you can't think about it. You just have to, if you think about the finish line, you're screwed. You
One
have to
pedal
think
stroke
about,
at a time.
you got to think about the next aid state or the next time station.
The next
Yeah,
mile
yeah.
marker.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we had to stop at time stations and call on the payphones. Well,
Nice.
there wasn't any
Yeah.
cell phones.
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
We had payphones.
When did you do Ram?
93, 95, 97. There were no cell phones. So you'd find it'd say, Subiaco, Arkansas, 7-Eleven, payphone on left side of building.
And then you just
so-
gotta hope it's still working.
And
I
then
hope you have a quarter in your pocket, right?
and like in the daytime, you could go on ahead and ride while your crew called. I was number
Sure.
168, and so they would say Muffy Ritz number 168, Subiaco, Arkansas, 4:23 p.m. on July 31st, whatever. And at night, I would have to stop because they couldn't let you go on.
The headlights.
Yeah. And so that was really different because you guys can now take your cell phones and just bing, 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 where we just passed time station 22.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's
So
like
not a lot of
tracking now.
yeah, a lot
You
different.
can watch the race online.
I've
I'm
been
sure
watching
you
it
do.
every
yeah,
day.
And just watch the little dots go
It's
across the country.
happening
yeah.
right now. You
Yeah,
know that.
That's
I'd say
amazing.
And the girl that beat me 3 times is in it right
Oh
now.
my
Shauna.
gosh.
Solo or a
Yes.
team?
No,
or-
no, she's always solo. She's tough as nails.
How long is she?
Wow.
How many? Well, yeah.
She's trying to beat the 60-year-old record. I think she'll shatter it.
Do you think they'll do it again?
I don't think so. It's too much work.
Yeah.
I don't want to work that hard. And also living here in Idaho, you guys see, we've got snow. I mean, I was riding in the snow today, and
wow.
up on a pass. And you really can't start riding until maybe April. So you've got April, May, and it starts in June. 2
Sure.
months.
Yeah.
You can't do that if you want
Right.
to live a normal life here.
Right.
Work
Yeah.
and stuff. So anyway.
In your life, whether it's Ram or a ski trip or having an impact at schools, what are you most proud of?
Most proud of, I would say it's not my physical, like Rams. It's starting this women's group called the Vamps because I think I've impacted a lot of women and empowered them to be athletes. And like these women who are like 70 years old, they go, "You just called me an athlete." And I said, "Well, you are. You're a cross-country skier." And they said, "Nobody's called me an athlete." So I've probably affected over a couple thousand people,
That's
women,
amazing.
and got them out there cross-country skiing for many winters. So I think I'm most proud of that.
Good.
I think so.
I love that you say that. I feel like that's what we've both felt at certain points is, you're diagnosed with this rare disease and it's you against the world, right? Because no
Right.
one else even knows what it is. And then
Yeah.
you join a community and you learn that you have the power to empower others and other
Others.
people are empowering you. And yeah, it's amazing when it's not about you anymore. It's
No,
about
I
everybody
mean,
else.
I would never say Ram. I would never say that.
Yeah.
And there's a few people in the group that I coach that I actually saved their lives.
Wow.
Because they were heading down the rabbit hole the wrong way. And they decided, I got them and I'm like, you should join our group. And they started cross-country skiing and having this women's support and coaching and physical, and, you know, they survived and they came on. One of them became one of my best coaches and one of my best friends. So
That's amazing.
So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, there's all that accomplishment is so much, whether it's major league or minor league.
Yeah.
It makes a difference in the way we perceive ourselves and the way we present ourselves to the world. So
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for doing the work you do.
Well, and I just want to say, you guys are really inspirational.
Oh, thank you.
And I watched that movie with a lot of recollections of my own Rams, and you know, there you are going up Wolf Creek Pass and Kuchara Pass and the Salton Sea and all those places, and just knowing, and I just watched your faces as the movie went on, from like jubilation to, oh, this is getting really hard. Like you guys, you sort of do a fake smile a little bit, but you were hurting. And that's just part of the race.
Yeah.
And then you get to the end and that jubilation comes back. I mean, I
Yeah.
could just feel you guys in that whole movie. So it's really fun.
Well, I think that's a good metaphor for life, too. We start pursuing that dream and then we're so excited. And this is true in any walk of life. And then you hit some friction and you start to go down or depressed or stressed and it's wearing you out.
Yeah.
But like we said, it's one foot in front of the other, one crank after another. Keep an eye on the short-term goals so that toward the end, that jubilation comes back and
When you can
you're
reach-
achieving what's
yeah.
been important to you.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is life.
Yep.
You're happy when you're born. You're happy when you die. In the middle.
Yeah,
maybe.
days go crazy. Well, Muffy,
knows?
thanks for hanging out with us for a few minutes.
No problem.
I'm sure our listeners will enjoy hearing from you.
Well, great. Thank you guys for being here in Sun Valley and showing the film and just being such an inspiration.
Thank you for listening to the Two Disabled Dudes podcast.
Find us online at twodisableddudes.com and please subscribe on the iTunes. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And special thanks to our audio producer, Jake Tompkins.
Until next time, keep living with urgency.